Hey everybody, it's Rykard here again, bringing you my next black and white Pokemon analysis. Today, we're going to be looking at the final evolution of one of the first Pokemon you encounter in the game, and it is the precaution Pokemon known as Miruhog. So let's get started by looking at its abilities and its stats. So like most Pokemon that you encounter at the beginning of the game, this one is going to be a normal type, so you can pretty much put it on the same page as like Raticate, Furret, Zigzagoon or Linoon, and Bibarel. As for its abilities, the first one it gets is Illuminate, which is an ability that makes it so that you get into battles more when you're walking through grass. I think it like doubles the chance of getting into a wild battle. But as for in an actual competitive battle or battle in game, it actually has no effect, which is kind of unfortunate. As for its next ability, it is known as Keen Eye, and what it does is it prevents accuracy drops from occurring. So basically, if your opponent uses a move like Sand Attack on you, it won't have any effect, and therefore you will remain at your regular accuracy. Its next ability, though, which is known as Analyze, is its Dreamworld ability, and what it does is that it boosts the power of your attack moves if you are slower than your opponent. So I am not exactly sure what the boost is that you get, like what percentage of increase the power is, but it's still a pretty cool new ability to have and will definitely help out a lot of different Pokemon that don't have the best speed stat in the world. As for its stats, it has 60 HP with 69 base defense and special defense. So it really isn't the best defensive stats in the world, which is kind of unfortunate. So it means that this Pokemon will not be able to take a lot of different attacks from your opponent, as well as other Pokemon with higher HP and defenses could. And that is pretty characteristic of the first Pokemon that you encounter in the game anyways. They don't exactly have the most impressive stats in the world. As for its physical attack, though, that is probably the one you will be using the most, or the attack specialty that you'll be using with Miruhog, because it's at an 85, which is very usable, and it learns a good amount of physical attack moves that can be utilized effectively with this 85 base attack. Its special attack, though, isn't nearly as good, with only 60 as its base stat, but it does learn, again, a lot of different special type moves that can be utilized if you put enough EVs into special attack. While it won't be nearly as powerful as its physical attack, it's still pretty cool to have a Pokemon attack from the special side as well, or be able to. And its speed is at about an average 77, so it's not going to be incredibly fast as a Pokemon, but it's still pretty good for this Pokemon and can be used, so it's not exactly the worst speed in the world. But that's pretty typical of first Pokemon that you encounter in the game, as I said before. But with that, let's take a look at a couple of different sets that this Pokemon can utilize. So this first set that we're going to be looking at is essentially a Sabotage set, or at least what I would consider to be that kind of set. We're giving Miruhog a Jelly Nature this time to increase its speed but decrease its special attack, and we're using the ability Keen Eye just because it's really the only ability that makes sense with a set where you're maxing out your speed. As for the EVs, 4 for HP just to give you one more hit point, and then 252 HP and 252 attack and 252 speed EVs to give you your max attack and your max speed along with the Jelly Nature. And then along with this, we're going to be using leftovers, which might seem weird, but it's kind of there just so that you can at least heal up damage with the moves that you are using, because they essentially are designed to either cause your opponent to not be able to attack that turn or make them want to switch out. So the first of the moves is Hypnosis, which, as you all know, is a move that puts your opponent to sleep, and it only has 60 base accuracy, which isn't that reliable, but it still hits enough from what I've seen, so it's cool to at least use with this Pokemon. As for its next move, it's going to be Confuse Ray, and the point of Confuse Ray in the set is to work in conjunction with Screech, but also be there to confuse anything that switches out after it's been hit by a hypnosis, because why would a sleeping Pokemon want to stay in? And then Screech is its next move, which will half your opponent's defense or lower it by 2 stages, whichever one you want to think about it with. So why that is an awesome move to have on the set is because when a Pokemon is confused, the amount that it hurts itself in confusion is based upon its physical attack and its physical defense. So if it's a Pokemon with high attack or a Pokemon with low defense, using Screech on it will make it hurt itself in confusion even more, which is always a plus. And then the last move to utilize with the set is Pursuit, because of hopefully the switches that will be caused by the other moves. So if a Pokemon is put to sleep, chances are it might want to switch out, so you can catch it with Pursuit right there. Or if you use Screech, it doesn't want the stat drops, but that's when you use Pursuit again with their -2 defense plus Pursuit, which will be doubled in power when they try and switch out. So this set is actually really similar to my first set that I ever posted, which is for Umbreon, and this Pokemon is able to use it as well, which is pretty cool. This next set is going to be one that tries to make Miruhog last as long as possible in battle and do a lot of damage at the same time. So we're going to give him an Impish Nature to increase its defense and decrease its special attack. And since we're not using a nature that increases your speed or any EVs that will be put into speed, we're going to be using the ability Analyze so that it will get a power boost when it moves after your opponent. As for the EV spread, we're going to be putting 252 HP EVs so that it has max HP, and then putting 252 defense EVs into its physical defense so that it has max physical defense plus the Impish Nature boost, and then 4 EVs for attack so that you get 1 more attack point. And again, like in the previous set, we're going to be utilizing leftovers to heal up HP at the end of every turn. As for the moveset this time, we're going to be running Light Screen so that it makes up for the lack of special defense that this Pokemon has. So with the Impish Nature and the EVs for HP and defense, we're getting a nice physical defensive Pokemon, and then the Light Screen will allow it to take special attacks as well. As for the moveset, we're going to be running Super Fang to cut your opponent's HP in half, which is always a plus, especially if they are a pain in the butt Pokemon to take down. And then we're going to be using Revenge, which is a 60 base power fighting type move that doubles in power when you are hurt by your opponent the turn Revenge is used. So say your opponent uses an attack and it hits you, and then you use Revenge, it now has 120 base power, and it will also be getting a boost from Analyze, meaning that you're just making its power go up and up. And as for its last move, we're going to be using Crunch, just so that you are able to at least hit ghost types with this set, because Super Fang and Revenge obviously cannot do that. So it's a pretty cool set that will provide team support with Light Screen and help your special defense out as well, and can half your opponent's HP and also do damage with its other attack moves. Now for this last set, we're going to be using the same EV spread and nature as the first one, meaning the Jolly Nature, Keen Eye, 252 attack, and 252 speed. As for the item this time though, it's a toss-up between Leftovers and this new item known as Balloon. And what Balloon does is that it makes your Pokemon be lifted off the ground, meaning that you cannot be hurt by ground-type moves. So it's essentially Levitate as an item, but once you are hurt by a move, the balloon pops, and then you are back on the ground and can be hurt by ground-type attacks. The reason you would run this, though, is because it just gives Miruhog another type immunity to have and be able to switch it into, because obviously its defenses and HP aren't the best, so having any opportunity to take or switch in for 0 damage is a plus. For the moveset, though, we're going to be using Thunder Wave this time to reduce the speed of any Pokemon that might be faster than you, obviously, and cause paralysis to occur. The next move is going to be Swords Dance, which this Pokemon fortunately learns. So with the Thunder Wave and the Swords Dance up, you will essentially be able to do a lot of damage and not have to worry about being slower than your opponent with your main attacking move, Return, which is just its most powerful physical normal type move. So it gets Stab, and plus the Swords Dance, it will be doing plenty of damage. As for its last move, it will be Baton Pass, so that you can pass over the Swords Dance boost that you get with this set. This Pokemon also learns a move known as Cheer Up, which increases your physical attack and special attack by one stage. So that is also another possibility to use with a set that uses Baton Pass. But since I wanted to make Miruhog have as much attack power as possible and not really have to rely on passing out a boost to another Pokemon, I chose Swords Dance with high attack EVs to make it just really powerful and have a really powerful stab return. But with that, that is pretty much the end of this video. So I hope you guys take a look at this new Pokemon that you'll be seeing, I'm betting, throughout the entire game. And just let me know what you guys think of the sets and the Pokemon in the comments. At this point, I'm pretty much just going down the list of Pokemon and not in order by number, and not really skipping around unless I find something that I think is really cool. So I'm just gonna hopefully be able to make a video for every single Pokemon or every single final evolution before its release in America. So with that, have a good day, guys, and take care, and I will see you in my next video.